everybody, welcome back to the Marina Show. I promise I'll drop the British accent. I just have too much fun with the camera. We are back at our 4-part segment about the life of Christian personal freedom. We have made 2 agreements in our previous shows, which we're going to review. And this show, we're going to make the 3rd agreement, which is going to allow us to lead a peaceful, happy, and Christian existence. So, agreement number 1, does anybody remember? Agreement number 1 is the following. Be impeccable with your words. That means only use your words in the direction of truth and in the direction of love. Use your words to create and not to destroy. Do not create emotional poison with your words, okay? Say only what you mean and know the power of your words. As human beings, we're the only mammals that have the ability to speak, and there is great power in that, all right? Number 2. What was number 2? Do not take anything personally, which is super hard to understand and super hard to apply, especially for people at a young age or at any age. When somebody insults you or brings you down, you have to realize that that is a projection of their own reality, okay, and not a projection or a truth or a perception of who you are, okay? So, now we are going to look back at this book, which is called The 4 Agreements, and we're going to look at agreement number 3, which is do not make any assumptions. Oh my goodness, you guys are saying, Marina Show, you're killing us. I make assumptions every day. The way you live is basically making assumptions about everything, okay? For example, you make assumptions about every single thing in your life. This is what the author says. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking, and we take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending them emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking it personally. Think about that. All the sadness and drama you've had in your life is rooted in the fact that you have made an assumption or taken something personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of control between the humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. Okay, so, for example, you are walking in the mall, and you see a person that you like. That person smiles and waves at you. You start making assumptions in your own head. You're like, oh my gosh, that person completely likes me. That person wants to date me. Oh my gosh, me and that person are going to get married. We're going to have kids. You make an entire fantasy world within your own head. You start believing a truth that is not based on reality, but based on your own assumptions, okay? And then when you make assumptions in your own relationships, that creates problems. For example, I'm sure you may have seen this with your parents, or you as parents watching the show have had this situation where one parent comes home, okay, for example, the husband, and the wife is mad at the husband, but the husband doesn't even know what expectations the wife has, and she assumes that he went against them, and there's all these assumptions between the wife and the husband, right? For example, the wife says, you didn't do this, and that's why you're not a good person. She's making assumptions about him. He doesn't even know that those were her expectations. Therefore, in order to stop making assumptions, you need to practice something we call clear and assertive communication. You must communicate your expectations within your friendships, within your relationships. You must communicate what you expect of the other person. Do not assume, okay? Last time on a couple of my shows, or you may meet her, my best friend, her name is Gina. The reason that we are best friends, we've been best friends for about 16 years, is because we never make assumptions about the other person, okay? If I do something to hurt Gina, or Gina feels like she's hurt, instead of assuming something about me, or assuming that I meant to hurt her, what she will do is she will call my number. She'll call me. She'll say, hi, Marina, how are you? I'll be like, good. How are you, Gina? She'll say, let me tell you something. I was really hurt when you did da-da-da-da-da, and I want to know why you did that. I'm not going to assume why you did that. I like to clearly communicate what the problem is. Let's talk about it. And I say, Gina, you know what? I did do that, but the reason I did that is because I forgot, or I meant to do this, or my intention was this, and we communicate. No assumptions are made between us, okay? Sometimes when you make assumptions, you are creating a truth that doesn't really exist, okay? A big trap that we fall into with our careers, or as women, as men, as anything, is that we make predictions, and we actually believe that they're true. For example, during my first year of law school, I was doing terribly. I made the prediction that I was going to graduate and not have a job. Like, still, right now, this is something that I'm struggling with. Please pray for me. Is I think I'm going to graduate from law school and I'm not going to have a job because my marks aren't as good as other people, because my personality is too loud, it's not professional. I've actually made this prediction in my head. I actually think, okay, 2 years from now, I'll be done school, I'll be in debt, and I won't have a job. Is that reality? It may very well be. And it may very well not be what is going to be the truth about me. Only God knows that. Okay? I am feeding into my own assumption that I have made. Okay? And that is a very negative and unchristian behavior, because God knows our plans. He knows the plans that He has for us. Okay? Plans to what? From Jeremiah 29:11. Plans to prosper you and not to hurt you. Okay? Plans to give you a hope and a future. So the worst thing that we can do is make assumptions, because it leads into the other agreements that we made. If I make an assumption about what you're saying, I'm going to take it personally, and if I take it personally, I'm going to gossip about you. And if I gossip about you, usually most gossip that people make, listen, think about the last time you talked to your best friend on the phone. You probably made a ton of assumptions, probably gossiped, not sure if those assumptions are true, and once you send gossip, you're going against the first agreement, which is what? To be impeccable with your word. So if you go against that first agreement, you're sending emotional poison. If you go against the second agreement, which is to take things personally, you're making yourself the victim of needless suffering. And if you're making an assumption, you're not giving the other person a chance to justify themselves, okay? Part of making assumptions also has to do with this. When you're looking for the right person, you cannot make assumptions that they are going to change. You must love the person, or love a friend, love someone that you want to marry, the way that they are. If you assume that you're going to change, that is your own reality. You must love someone the way they are. If you think that you're going to change them, that is not the truth, okay? So let's not assume about people. Let's justify their actions by asking them questions, okay? Because when we assume things, we fall into the sin of judgment. And I love what Mother Teresa says, which is, do not judge other people. If you judge others, you have no time to love them. Okay? If you judge other people, you have no time to love them. And we are here to find our own personal freedom, to find our own happiness. So in doing so, we're not going to make assumptions about other people's behavior, because that is not Christian, and that does not lead on a path towards personal happiness. Okay? So let's recall our 3. I'll read the last one concisely. Do not make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Let's do that together. We'll see you next time on The Marina Show.